Let me guess, we're
live. Let's see. I think we are.
Let me double check. Yes.
Yes.
I see the thumbnail. We are indeed live.
We are live, finally. And before anything, if there's anyone at the stream who's watching this right now, I'm sorry. Well, I didn't get to do it last week. I was kept at the school to do OSHA 10 training. So that's why we didn't have it last week.
Also, if you're under the age of 13, you're not allowed to watch this video. COPPA regulations.
Yeah.
All this stuff is not made for kids.
Yeah,
Please,
but then again,
prevent us from being the victim of bad parenting, like bad parenting decisions, and save yourselves and do the smart thing and just fuck off. There's plenty of content out there that isn't made for children. So, please.
And plus, there is a thing called YouTube Kids, even though it's cursed as hell. Yeah. If, please, just for those, people who think that the internet is some sort of, babysitter, it's not.
Anyway, guten Abend, Kameraden und liebe Zuschauer. That's me trying to speak a little bit of German, even though my German is appalling. But I was saying, good evening, comrades and dear viewers.
Yes, because
you may have noticed by today's thumbnail that this episode takes us once again back to Germany. But whereas last time, which was last year, Jesus, we were in post-war capitalist West Germany. This time, we're going to post-war communist East Germany. Our subject for today is the so-called Reko program, which was a modernization program in East Germany conceived by the Deutsche Reichsbahn.
But before we get to this interesting topic, because I actually don't know about this, and considering what he has told me, I am already fascinated. But before anything, I think you guys know what time it is. Cool wall. And
also, you may have noticed that it's eerily quiet over here. That's because right now, Andrew and I are the only ones in the chat.
Yes, Josh and Ryan are both now applying for jobs. Well, they are now a part of jobs. They're
getting into the workforce.
Yes, they took our jobs, but yeah. So right now we are on our own. So we will still continue though, because the show must go on. But
yep.
Yes. So our first look. Ooh. So I'm actually
goofing around in Gmod single player. I'm on Sunset Gulch, goofing around in Rockford,
and
throwing things in the lava.
The thing is,
so I'm like, yes, die trash.
I am going to create, like last time, I'm going to create polls for you guys to vote where these locomotives can go, and I'm going to limit the answers to either sub-zero or uncool. And depending on how many are voted in that certain area will determine how high they go or how low they go. How low can you go? Let's see how low. Anyway. So the first one is a very known one, to say the least.
Okay, what do we have?
Hold on, let me just put the... Right. The first one is...
Yeah, I'm also just throwing ragdolls into the lava river.
None other than our favorite our personal favorite simple articulate, except, well, it's not all, but...
One of our favorite simple articulated locomotives, the NW Class A. But is it the Class A? Is it 1218?
Yes, it is 1218.
Giga Chad, that's Sub-Zero, easy Sub-Zero.
Well, let's see exactly...
Challenger, but far more powerful.
It's, yeah, to put this into perspective, if anyone's even still watching, because for some reason the viewer count says 0. But anyway, for those who don't know, the Challengers, if I remember, they have a tractive effort of, 95,000 pounds? around that, or was it 94, or was it higher?
Challengers have depends on which type from the Union Pacific.
I guess we'll use the Jobblemon Challengers as a reference.
The UP Jobblemon Challengers, 97,352 pounds.
Okay, well, which that is impressive on its own, but the A's,
114,000 pounds.
Oh, it was actually from what I remember, it was 120.
I think that's when the boosters kicked in.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot they had boosters. But yeah, I mean, while there are 2 challengers left in the world,
there's only one A.
Only one A. And not only is it, the only A, but is the only simple articulated 2664 locomotive left in the world.
Yeah. It's close to a Challenger, but not really.
It's slightly smaller.
It's both less. It's both a little bit less in terms of wheels,
size,
and a lot more in terms of strength. As I burped it while I said strength, that's how strong it is.
It has the power to take over your digestive system. But yeah, this thing is an awesome locomotive. Not to mention that when it was restored by the Norfolk Southern Steam Program, it actually got to haul a couple of coal drags. So that was a pretty cool thing. And not to mention, even with the big boy running, this thing still stands up there as the second most powerful steam locomotive to operate in preservation.
Yeah.
With the big boy only, getting up there by a couple of thousand
pounds. Quite a few thousand pounds, actually.
Yeah.
Like usually a big boy will be around 135,000 pounds because you don't round the number off correctly. 135,375, but 4014 has been upgraded to 138,240 pounds.
Because they increased the cylinders. Yes.
Now put the 1218 in fucking Sub-Zero and get on to the next engine.
Well, we
don't have time.
Yeah, I guess I'll just kind of end this one considering no one else voted. So yeah, this thing is going straight up to Sub-Zero. Where should I put it? I'm thinking about putting it right in front of the Feder Challenger. I'm sorry, but
we only have one comment so far from a channel called Quiet Please 25.
Interesting.
And and the channel is empty.
Pretty.
I want to talk about a rather eerie date to make your channel, December 7th of 2020. 79 years of Pearl Harbor. Ugh. Well, since the bombing.
Anyway, but anyway, though.
Moving right along.
Next American locomotive. Oh God. It's not a bad one, but it's a strange one. And since no one else seems to be here, I guess I don't need to put a poll for this. It's a Delaware and Hudson. It's a Delaware and Hudson Northern.
The aliens.
Yes, they have a strange marker light arrangement that makes it look like they got antennas. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe average. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say average. I mean, they look fairly basic, but I'm not gonna lie, I do enjoy watching them run. I do enjoy watching footage of them run, and not to mention, 2102 cosmetically was disguised as one of these. Speaking of 2102, welcome back. Anyway.
With a fucking Reading hooter whistle.
Yeah. What's wrong with that, though?
Nothing. I think it's better than her chime whistle.
It sounds more unique, and it sends shiver down my spine.
Well, I think German steam enthusiasts would say that it sounds like any West German Neubau or modernized Einheits locomotive, but whatever.
All right, so let's put it.
But whatever. What's next?
Let's put it. I'm gonna put it like in the vicinity of the Pennsylvania S2, right? I'm gonna put it over that because I'm tired of looking at that thing. But anyway. Oh, Ryan, I wish he was here right now.
Let me guess, the next locomotive is something from either the Lake Superior and Ishpeming or the Burlington route.
Nope, neither. Surprisingly.
What is it?
It's Reading 1251.
Sub-Zero, actually.
You know what?
No. Yeah, Sub-Zero.
You know what?
You want to know something? You want to know something?
Yeah?
About 1251.
What?
Like, Ryan chucked in a couple of images the other day. Who's there? Josh.
Hi, Josh!
You gotta enjoy it when your phone doesn't ring.
All right.
Also, you're eating something, but
Oh, same here. I have pizza.
But continue, Jim.
Josh, I mean, Andrew.
Yes.
Ryan sent us a couple of images of 1251 a little while ago, including a particular interesting one from the back to reveal a clever secret.
What is it?
The back of the fuel bunker is just a pair of doors. As a result,
What?
they were able to couple on a normal tender with coupling knuckles on both ends, so they could theoretically turn the engine from a tank engine into a tender engine, which indeed apparently allowed the engine to pull some passenger trains on a few mainline excursions
What?
in the early 1960s.
What? Sub-Zero.
Yeah, that is cool.
I have been.
Mainline tank engine, even though it's only an 060.
It's still a mainline tank engine, for damn sake. But I think that is an. I did not know that. I literally did not know that. Why didn't anyone tell me about this? You know what? I'm sorry, LMS Turbine, but I'm gonna have to cover you up.
There goes the turbo motive. Good old 62.
The thing is, though, next year I am going to make a bigger cool wall. I'm going to take all these photos down, and we are going to re-rank them. Because most
Awesome.
likely our opinions might change about them. Like certain locomotives.
Also, here's a small image of the back end of 1251's fuel bunker. Sorry, the resolution is pitiful, but you see what I mean. It's
Holy-
just a pair of doors.
Whoa! I wonder if I could design.
That way the crew can actually kind of walk into the actual bunker of the locomotive and just shovel some coal from a fuel tender that was coupled onto the thing.
That is actually a really cool design. I am not going to lie about that. And why didn't I know about this earlier? Why? If I knew about this earlier, then I would probably be a bigger fan of 1251. Well, I guess it goes to show that Reading locomotives in general are just really cool.
The Reading knows how to be a bunch of gigachads.
All right, our first British locomotive of the day is... Whoa!
You know,
What do you have?
I'm kind of scared of this, but at the same time, it is a Giga Chad.
hey, Andrew,
What? Oh,
William
You know what?
Francis.
William Francis, the only standard gauge Bayer Peacock left in the United Kingdom.
And
Number
the-
6841.
And it's the only surviving standard gauge Garrett left in the UK.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Andrew,
But let me put it this way. I don't know if it's cool enough to be Sub-Zero, but it's cool enough to be cool.
excuse me.
I mean, it hasn't ran in God knows how long, but it is I think this is an awesome locomotive. I'm going to say that right now. I'm not a big fan of a lot of Garretts, but this one I can get behind. It has a very compact design. It has a decent... It has the amount of drivers that are necessary for this locomotive's job. So, I think let's put it in cool. Or just on the verge of Sub-Zero. Because...
I think that, the locomotive is basically, it has like the bare minimum for a,
the bare essentials.
like just 2 sets of 4 driving wheels.
I want to build something like this in Gary's mod. And yes, Tyler, I did hear about 2102's test run.
Wait a second. Andrew.
Yeah?
I'm going to build build a locomotive like that and name it Rick because it's never gonna give you up, never gonna let you.
Motherfucker!
Why would you do this to me?
Because it's funny, and Raz isn't here, so I have to do it.
But yeah, I'm gonna put it on the verge of Sub-Zero and Cool. So like in the vicinity of CNJ 113. So I think I'm sorry, Lion, but I think this thing is really cooler. Anyway. All right. And oh. Okay. Okay, this is let me just cut this one out. I didn't cut all of them out before the stream because I didn't have time to, but wow, we have okay, this is a very, very old design. But
what do we have here?
Let me just cut it out. But this is literally like one of the dinosaurs of steam locomotives. This is Novelty.
Let's see.
Burn it.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Novelty. It's one of the 3 locomotives that attended the Rainhill trials. Well, one of the 5.
That's actually quite significant.
Yeah. And the thing is, this particular one actually was one of the second fastest one there. Well, second to Rocket only. But the thing is, this locomotive was built quickly. And so you could probably guess that it had a lot of faults. But it did run fairly well, and it did impress a lot of people. And there's even a running replica of it. A few of them, actually.
Well, then I guess they must have done something right.
They must have done something right.
I'm between Cool or Sub-Zero, but I don't think it deserves Sub-Zero.
I mean, considering the fact that it didn't really win the competition, I think that it can go on the verge of, like, directly in the middle of Cool.
All right, that's good for me.
I think that's fair because it does hold a lot of historical significance, but at the same time, it didn't accomplish much. It really was just, I mean, I bet it had a lot of potential considering it was the second fastest there, and there are a few replicas of it built. But I feel, just because it lost the competition and we didn't really get to see much more of it after the Rainhill trials, I think we're just going to keep it in Cool. We'll put it right underneath, right here in between the Reading Jubilee and the Santa Fe Hudson. All right, that's our that's our second UK locomotive, and then I'm not sure what to think about this locomotive other than what? The thing is, I don't choose what goes on the cool wall. I've said this a million times, but I have a secret guy. He's probably watching right now, but he chooses the locomotives that go on the cool wall. They are completely obscure. They are
with an evil smile on his face.
They are
put that one there.
They are mostly obscure locomotives. Most of them I didn't even know existed. Like one locomotive on this cool wall that I never knew existed was. Oh yeah, continue.
Also, hi Simba and Tyler. Yes, we kind of know about 952 at St. Louis, but whatever.
Yes. I wonder if that would get on the cool wall.
Let's just stick with the subject at hand. But what is this last locomotive you have for us?
For Britain, anyway. It is actually. Let me create a poll for this one since we got viewers. Because this, I'm just gonna say this. I'm betting it's gonna be like,
Andrew, after the stream, I got something I want to show you. Just saying it now. And no, it's not another Rickroll.
It's another Rickroll. Understood.
No, it isn't.
All right.
If it was another Rickroll, I would have done it right now.
It is the London Brand South Coast Railway E4.
E4?
Yes, specifically Birch Grove.
Number 473. She's around. That's
Yeah.
she's
It's
cool.
still
She's cool.
and still running.
Andrew,
Yeah.
let's put it with its younger brother in the Shadow Realm.
No.
The thing is, Josh.
Because, Josh, the E4s are actually quite good. The E2s were dog shit.
Yeah. The thing that's actually one thing I got confused about. I was thinking, wait a minute. Because I mean, the thing is, Birch Grove is actually quite an interesting excursion star too. It's pretty loud, you know.
I would probably say tourist star because I believe the engine has resided at the Bluebell Railway in Sussex throughout all of its life in preservation, and I don't think she's gone mainline.
Well, I still consider that an excursion star.
For me, I think it's more so tourist star because again, when I think excursion, I only think mainline rail tour. If it pops up and down a tourist railroad, no.
Okay. Well,
sorry. I mean, that's literally how it's here in the Netherlands. I kid you not.
Well, let's see here then. Considering we've got 2 votes.
Birch Grove is cool. Birch Grove is cool.
I think it's I'd say I'm gonna put it like slightly below NNW 578. So I'm gonna put it right here. Right underneath there. Yep, right there. There we go. Okay. And wow, I just realized how many times I've covered up locomotives. But that's our last British locomotive of the day. And now let's get on to our 2 Canadian ones and then our final German one. So
Brendan.
oh no.
What?
What is it?
No. You know how
Everything beautiful? If Andrew doesn't like it, then it must be something that I'll fall in love with.
you know how we already put that Canadian Mikado on the list on the cool wall, like the well,
let me guess. He put another one in it.
Specifically a certain canned Canuck, as we like to call it.
Canadian National 3254. He put that in there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Honestly, you know that the engine isn't actually. You know that the engine doesn't deserve quite as much hate as we used to give it.
Yeah, the thing is, it's as a locomotive, like fresh out of the shops, it was good. Its life is what ruined it. I think
life in preservation.
Yes, really.
Because Rez has actually told us that the locomotive has actually, after its head-on collision, it actually got a good, sufficient rebuild, but the frame of the locomotive got bent while it was being moved around several times in the preservation era. Like they didn't handle the locomotive as well as they should have. That's what caused the bent frame and all the nagging issues. Also, bad news, despite initial rumors some time ago,
hold on, they're calling me.
The engine potentially being rebuilt and even having its frame straightened out again, the engine is never going to turn the wheel on its own steam. Steamtown has actually sent Ryan a message saying that both it and Canadian Pacific 2317 are both going to be static display vehicles. As for 3254, I would say average, but towards cool. As Andrew has mysteriously left, so we'll be even more delayed with talking about the actual fucking subject matter.
Well, Jim, can I tell you something about this thing I want to show you later?
9.
Fuck. Itchman Den Schwartz, anyway.
What?
Nothing.
Okay, I'm back.
Huh?
Sorry, Needed to get something. But anyway.
I order it on border between average and cool.
Okay. So, like,
That would suck.
not too hard.
Andrew, that's what she said.
That's why I looked into the camera for 1 second and went,
It took me a second to catch it, and I was like, wait a minute.
all right. Well, then let us put this, average and cool. So, I'd say I'm going to put it just in front of Santa Fe 2000, right there.
Andrew, Discord's glitchy.
Is that glitchy? Is that glitchy?
For some reason, no.
Okay, but what?
I would yell bitch into the microphone if it was me.
I literally don't know what this locomotive is. I mean,
Show me it.
I see its wheel arrangement and I see like what it. I don't know the class though. I have never
Let me
heard of
get a
this.
good look.
Well, hold on. Let me just end the poll here. Okay. It is some sort of Canadian Pacific 280. It's not 20.
It looks nice.
It looks nice. But I don't know what class it is. I literally have no idea.
Well, let's just put it, I guess in cool, because it looks cool.
Just say consolidation.
I guess it's, we'll just say Canadian Pacific Consolidation.
Connie. CP Connie.
Yeah,
For short.
yeah, what's up, Dick? But, cool. I'm gonna put it, right down here. I'm gonna cover up the C16 and the Sentinel. Sorry, but honestly, this thing actually, I'm not gonna lie, it looks nice. Inside valve gear, outside cylindrical spool valve cylinder. So honestly, it gives me a reminiscence of 769. By the way, go support the project. Anyway.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, before we get to the last locomotive, which is actually a locomotive that I enjoy, which is a German locomotive, I wanted to mention that, we are now accepting a lot of funds to actually get San 769 running again. I'm about to meet with Lori this weekend to talk about the big plan.
You excited?
Am I excited?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's pretty obvious. But
Of course he is.
if you go on Trains Magazine, you can actually see that,
Your name is mentioned.
well, that, and we are now accepting funds to restore 769 to operational condition. And I want to thank you guys for this, because honestly, when I went there to clean it up, I wasn't expecting to ever get it running. I just wanted it to look good and, please some people. I wasn't expecting Lori to actually give in to the idea of running it. So, I'm pretty...
You're responsible for it.
Yeah.
In a way.
But anyway, though, our last locomotive on the cool wall today is the DB Class 23.
West German Class 23. That's obviously fucking Sub-Zero for you.
Well, for me anyways, but what about you guys?
It's cool. Very good jack of all trades for various kinds of passenger services.
Not to mention these things can go 60 miles an hour backwards. Take that.
Andrew,
Take that.
To 50.
you know what pisses me off?
Yeah.
So I told, when you first got into working on the helping out or working with the 769, I was excited and told some friends. And they're like, he's not working on it. He doesn't own it. He ain't doing this or that. He's a kid. And they don't realize just how big of an impact you've had. If it wasn't for you,
That thing would probably still be buried.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that we can put it in between cool and Sub-Zero, like just like a centimeter in front of Canadian Pacific 2816. Sorry, Dan. Well,
Say that.
Dan is our. Dan is
I
a.
can actually get on with the subject matter.
Yes, now we can get on with the subject matter, which Jim, take the mic away, and I will be enjoying some chicken.
So, at some point in the 1950s, a lot of steam locomotives in Germany from the Einheit program of the 1920s and 30s, maybe even the 40s, arguably, they were actually starting to develop some significant boiler problems. They were actually using a particular type of steel for their boilers, but by the time of the 1950s, like a lot of locomotives were starting to really struggle as the boilers were actually quite close to the ends of their lifespan. Of course, in that time, Germany was divided between the capitalist West and the communist East. Sorry to put it so bluntly politically, but you get the point. And both railroad companies in Germany at the time, the Deutsche Bundesbahn of West Germany and the Deutsche Reichsbahn of East Germany, they actually each came up with a different modernization scheme to kind of cope with it. The Deutsche Bundesbahn, so in West Germany, they developed a new type of boiler known as the Hochleistungskessel in German, which means high performance boiler, which were like, they were new boilers. They were parallel in terms of shape, but they were also welded, which was more modern. However, in East Germany, they actually used. They actually decided to go with tapered boilers that were riveted, but the tapered boilers were all fitted with a combustion chamber. I believe the West German boilers were also fitted with a combustion chamber, but still, there is a clear-cut difference between the West and the East in Germany when it comes to the modernization schemes and also the new locomotives that they built after the war. But yeah, quite a few classes were actually selected for the program. Yeah, we're going to be talking about the East German Reconstruction Program, as it's called, because in East Germany, their modernization program was called the Reconstruction Program, because they refer to this rebuild as a reconstruction as such. The first class that we're going to mention was the so-called newly created Baureihe 5035, the reconstructed version of the Baureihe 50. So you remember the 50s, right, Andrew?
I think so, yes.
Lightweight, standardized 210 decapods, two-cylindered, which suspiciously came about in the spring of 1939. Yeah, the Deutsche Reichsbahn in East Germany, they actually inherited about 300 of them, like 350 after the end of the war. Let me actually see. Yeah, and they had 350 out of the grand total of over 3,000 that were built.
3,000.
Yeah, there were exactly 3,164 normal Class 50 locomotives built between 1939 and 48.
Jesus Christ!
And after the war, 350 of them still resided in the eastern half of Germany. So this is what a normal 50 looks like. But yeah, you get the idea. Most of these were actually starting to suffer from those boiler problems. The boilers were reaching the end of their lifespans. So the Reichsbahn decided to have those be subjected to their reconstruction program, which included fitting that new tapered boiler with the combustion chamber at the firebox end, and also that trapezium-shaped preheater on the smokebox end. known as a mish Flavama or a mixed preheater due to the fact that it used a mixture of fresh steam and exhausted steam to preheat the water before it's fed into the boiler. This is the result of what happened. So they kind of semi-randomly picked various 50s, but they did need new boilers. And as part of the reconstruction program, there were 208 locomotives of the Bawaraya 50 converted into the new Bawaraya 50-35. Like the 35 is to, designate them as this new reconstructed subclass. They were numbered 50-3501 through 3708. And this reconstruction treatment took place for them between 1957 and 1962 at the town of Stendal.
Gives me vibes of what happened with those Duke Dogs things, you know?
Not really, though, because these were brand new boilers. Not like they weren't boilers that were
previously made.
class.
But the subclass is what gives me the vibes, really.
But
maybe it's just me. But anyway.
Yeah, it's probably you. Tractive effort, let's see. 55.1 inch diameter driving wheels, or 1400 millimeters. 16 bar of boiler pressure, which equals 232.1 psi. A pair of 600 by 660 millimeter cylinders, or 23.62 by 25.98 inches. That gives us a tractive effort of 51,897,000 pounds.
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah. But in addition to the 5035s, what was also created in Stendal is something very similar. You may have noticed the thumbnail, because there's some people who say that wherever a locomotive of the Bawaraya 50 goes, a locomotive of the Bawaraya 52 wouldn't be far behind. Yes, the Bawaraya 52 is, of course, the full-on proper Kriegslok, the war locomotive, which came about due to extreme blunt simplification of the 50. And the Reichsbahn had about 700 of those after the war, out of over 7,000 that were built. Also, Andrew, what the fuck is up with your hair?
He's an alien.
What are you talking about? Wait, what the?
You had something on your head, you penis.
You're an idiot.
Yeah. Stop it. But yeah, there were 7,052s built, roughly. And about 700 of them ended up in East Germany. Likewise, plenty of those needed new boilers, so they were also subjected to the reconstruction program to create the Bawaraya 5280, which you actually can see in the thumbnail. You actually have a normal 52, kind of a little further away from the camera, and then a reconstructed 5280, kind of in front of it. So you can actually see a better comparison of before and after. The reconstruction effort of the 52s into the Bawaraya 5280, that happened a little later at Stendal, and it took a bit longer. From 1960 to 1967, there were 200 of them built or reconstructed into this new form, so they were numbered 528001 or 8001, however you want to say it, through 8200. Oh, this is actually pretty good. This is actually a pretty good picture of a reconstructed one with a little plow. So yeah,
very funny, Andrew. It's not working. Might be working on yourself though.
Andrew, pay attention.
What?
Pay attention. Look in the chat, you complete and utter fuckhead.
You brother an idiot.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm walking in, but
you complete bellend. Yeah, here you have a better look at what a reconstructed 52 looks like.
I'm gonna say this. I think that the 52s have a better cosmetic appeal to me, anyway. I like the skinny
You don't
boilers.
like the skirting on the 50s, do you?
No, I mostly just like the 52s because of the skinnier boiler. I don't know. It just looks right to me.
I think they literally use the exact same boiler, Andrew.
Something looks different then. Maybe it is the skirting. Maybe it makes them look fatter.
Yes.
Andrew likes fatter women.
He likes them thick.
Yeah, dummy thick.
Welcome to the club, buddy. Let's see, what else can we talk about? I mean, what's the next class we're going to pick? Yes. The next class, if you actually remember it, dear Andrew, yeah, believe it or not, you do remember that there were multiple classes in Germany that were designated as the Baureihe 23, right?
Wait, what?
This is not new. This is not new.
To me, it kind of is because
But yes, before the war, the Einheits program introduced its own Baureihe 23, which, yes, looks very different compared to the Bundesbahn 23s that you seem to really like.
So, are they both 26? Are they both prairies though?
Yes, they're both prairies.
Okay. That would explain why I keep having trouble finding photos and video of that specific one. I keep putting in German class 23 when I look for one.
Because there were only two of these built in 1940, but they have the same directive effort-related geometry as the Bundesbahn 23s. 17 and 150 millimeter driving wheels, which equals 68.9 inches. Once again, 16 bar or 232.1 psi worth of boiler pressure. Slightly smaller cylinders are 550 by 660 millimeters, so 21.65 by 25.98 inches, resulting in 34,868 pounds of tractive effort. Apparently, at some point, these Reichsbahn 23s, like these Einheits 23s, I guess I should call them, they were actually also somewhat reconstructed. Though for whatever reason, the Deutsche Reichsbahn had them reclassified as the Baureihe 35 for whatever reason. Also, one of them was actually briefly fitted out with a Giesel ejector, apparently.
A Giesel?
But neither of these have been preserved, and I don't know exactly when their reconstruction took place.
Did the Giesel work for them?
I'm not 100% sure. I will freely admit.
Okay.
The Diesel.
No, not Diesel. Giesel.
A Giesel ejector.
In reference to the Giesel ejector, which you can spot on a steam engine due to the particular smokestack. Flat-sided and kind of stretched out along the length.
And by the way, before we continue, I'd like to say this about burning subjects. We try to stay truthful about what we know and what we don't know. Because
we have idiots like me.
The thing is,
it's difficult to do sometimes.
The thing is, though, we are human. We don't know everything. We will never know everything. But what we can do is try to learn more. And that's what Burning Subjects is. We're learning off of each other because we're very diverse, to say the least. We're trying to learn from each other. We're learning about our different cultures. That's why I had Jim actually host this episode, because I wanted to learn this stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's continue.
The next class that I'm going to pick is the Baureihe 015. Rebuilt from the Baureihe 01, which were like the heavy two-cylinder standardized Pacifics. So we're going to 462s. Let me actually quickly look up information on steamlocomotive.com. Like when it comes to the Baureihe 01, hold on, let me quickly double check. how many of them were initially built? Yeah, when it comes to the normal O1s, there were 241 of them built between 1926 and 1938. And of course, quite a few of them started to suffer those boiler problems, and the boilers were starting to reach the end of their lifespan.
My boiler's too weak.
Yeah, and I believe the Deutsche Reichsbahn, the Deutsche Reichsbahn in East Germany, I believe they actually had, I want to say like, I want to say 67 locomotives of the Bauer IO1 in service at the end of at the end. At the end of World War II, so there were like 67 normal O1s. Fedora.
It's not a fedora. Anyway.
Yeah, in service. I'm just trying to see exactly where it says that. Come on, show me. Come on. Yeah, I believe that they had like 67 of them, but needless to say, when it comes to the Bauerei 015, there were 35 of them built, or rather rebuilt into this reconstructed form. So this is what a normal O1 looks like.
I have located a fortune cookie. But anyway, let me take a look.
At least this is a normal O1. At least when it comes to like pre-war or post-war.
Yes, the Pacifics.
Yeah, and this, of course, is the This is the reconstructed version by the East German Deutsche Reichsbahn. So there were 35 of these rebuilt into that form between 1957 and 62, I believe.
I like the rebuilt form better, personally. Anyway.
Correction. 1962 to 1965. And these were rebuilt at a very different town, which has kind of become like the mecca for steam in Germany. That being the town of Meiningen, which is like almost like a sacred area due to the fact that that workshop there is actually still being used for routine and heavy repairs and overhauls on steam locomotives all across Europe, and they even sometimes build brand new modern boilers for other locomotives abroad. Like, these were the same guys that also built the boiler for Tornado.
I was about to say, didn't Tornado's boiler come from... Wait, does that mean that these guys might build the boiler for a certain Mikado?
What Mikado?
You know, Prince of Wales.
That's literally what I said.
Oh, okay.
They are going to do that.
Yay! Wait a second, though. Didn't it not fit correctly originally?
I think that was the problem with
Tornado's boiler originally.
No, with 3801, New South Wales 3801 in.
Oh yeah, in Australia. Australia.
Hey, good day, mate.
Anyway, I'm gonna open this fortune cookie and continue.
Tell me the fortune.
I don't know, but continue, Jim.
Yeah, I can't seem to find exactly how many O1s the East German Reichsbahn got at the end of the war, but again, I'm fairly certain that it was like 67 of them.
A tempting proposal will soon present itself.
Andrew, will you what?
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Like, the next class that I'm going to pick, let's see. Yeah, fuck it. This is going to be a class that, I think Josh is going to absolutely nut over.
What? You love it? I know it.
Even though, ironically, they weren't very good.
Well, what is it? What is it? What?
I'm actually going to show you a picture of the reconstructed version first.
The question is, were the reconstructed ones
somewhat obscure locomotive because it didn't work very well?
Were the reconstructed ones better or were they worse?
In this case, they were actually worse. This is the Baoraya 22.
Ah, yes,
Triple-cylindered
these!
282 Mikado.
Which,
Um,
that's kind of disappointing, actually.
yeah, there were 85 of these locomotives rebuilt into this form, also at Meiningen, between 1958 and 1962. Let me look up tractive effort-related geometry. Deutsche Reichsbahn 282. Do we actually get... are they actually listed here? That would be really cool if they were. Let's see. Yes. Okay, so tractive effort. The same 68.9-inch diameter driving wheels as those 23s. Same boiler pressure. Brand new size of steam cylinders. 520 by 660 millimeters. So that's 20.47 inches in diameter by 25.98 inches long. Tractive effort, 46,756 pounds.
What about the boiler pressure?
The big problem with the 22s here was the fact that they were actually, like, it didn't work out that well because, weirdly enough, they were too good. They were too powerful. The boilers were actually proved to be so powerful that they actually proved to be too much for the frames that they were mounted on.
Damn!
So as a result, these locomotives were actually kind of working themselves to pieces. Which is kind of unfortunate because they do look pretty cool and kind of interesting when you look at them from the side.
So they were on steroids, basically.
Yeah. And I can't find a very good picture on the surface. I can't find. Oh wait. Hold on. Let me actually look it up here on this. Okay, this is a fairly good picture. It's a little dim, but yeah, because it's triple cylindered, it's also kind of interesting to note that I believe the main crank axle is on the second pair of driving wheels, kind of like with a Mastodon, a mountain type, and a Northern. But like there's an elongated eccentric rod on the third driving axle.
What?
But yeah, the big thing is, here we can see it better. In fact, on the left-hand side, there were two eccentric rods going to the same wheel.
Gee.
Like, I didn't show you what these were initially. You were about to see what these used to be.
So basically, the locomotives were too powerful for their own good.
Yes, because if anything, they were actually built from a pretty old locomotive, like very early Deutsche Reichsbahn Gesellschaft, so very shortly after nationalization in 1920. And the result is this: the Baureihe 39, which was initially conceived in pre-nationalization days as the Prussian State P10. There's some Einheit DNA in there, but you can definitely tell that it's a little bit different. It looks a little bit more old-fashioned than the proper Einheit locomotive.
I can see it, but barely. But I'm just gonna say this right now. It's kind of like installing a V8 into a Model T.
It's something
kind of like.
In a way, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Sticking with Mikados, next up, we're going with the standard Mikados.
So much porn. I mean, what?
Just for the hell of it, I'm going to,
Josh,
hold on.
please don't
What?
tell me that you are doing what I think you're doing.
No, Andrew. Remember that scene from Ted 2? There's so much porn!
I remember.
Now.
I remember. please
That's
tell me.
me right now.
There's so
Okay.
much porn in
Next
here.
up,
Wait, what's this?
next up, we have the Bawaraya 41, the proper standardized Mikados.
I like the 41 better. I like the 41 better than the 39.
Andrew, ironically, here's one that's actually in service on the Deutsche Bundesbahn, rather than before the war and or the Deutsche Reichsbahn.
Continue.
Let me see if I can actually find a better picture of a proper Reichsbahn era 41. Okay, it's not the best, but I think it'll be good enough. Like, here's one from the other side. Yeah, there you go. This is what a 41. This is what a Reichsbahn 41 used to look like, or like just before the war.
Yeah, I like the rebuilt versions then.
No, but this is not the rebuilt version.
Oh, it's wait.
Yeah. Firstly, Trek FF related geometry and quantity of the 41s. By the way, I don't know much about the 39s, so that's kind of why I'm skipping over them. Like, the whole point there was just the rebuilt version, the 22s, which didn't work very well. But when it comes to the 41s, there were 366 of them built between 1937 and 41.
Not bad.
In terms of Trek effort-related geometry, 1,600 millimeter driving wheels, which equals 63 inches. Once again, 16 bar or 232.1 psi of boiler pressure. And those same 520 by... Oh, no, wait. These are longer cylinders. 520 by 720 millimeter cylinders. Only two of them. But that equals 220.47 by 28.35 inches. Directive effort, 37,200 pounds. But I think that's the normal 41. Because there were 80 locomotives of the Baureihe 41, which happened to end up in East Germany. They were also reconstructed. Let me quickly look at my info. Let's see, the reconstructed 41s. They were rebuilt. Let me see, where were they?
When were they rebuilt? Come on.
Their reconstruction took place in two towns that I didn't mention yet: Zwickau and Chemnitz, which at the time was known as Karl Marx Stadt. You know, after Karl Marx, that German socialist philosopher who didn't do much, and his socialist beliefs eventually grew into communism. Lol. But yeah. Let's see how.
Go on.
Exactly when did their reconstruction program take place? Their reconstruction program took place rather quickly between 1959 and 1960. In terms of tractive effort related geometry, we have. Let's see. Oh, it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. Despite getting new boilers, the tractive effort remained exactly the same. Still 37,200 pounds. Yeah, 41s were like really good universal locomotives. Damn good. Like, they were good enough for both freight and passenger services because they were just that good and that versatile.
By the way, Jim, Tyler wants to know what your thoughts are on the BR Class 01.
The O1s are nice, maybe a little generic because I'm not that huge of a fan of Pacifics, but a normal O1 is nice. But personally, I prefer a different class that doesn't count for this topic, which is the Baureihe 0110, which is a triple-cylindered development of the O1s, which are there. It's an O1, but more. But yeah, O1s are pretty nice, but an 0110, that's Giga Chad.
Okay, you may continue.
Look at a picture of an actual rebuilt 41, even if the particular locomotive will make you kind of cry because, although it's preserved, it's not at a particularly happy place.
I'm already crying.
I mean, considering the fact that I what other locomotives are currently in a very unhappy place, despite us still loving them?
Oh wait,
They're
I got a
rolling
better idea.
dildo.
I actually got a better idea. Actually,
Andrew.
let me give you a better. Let me give you a better picture of a different locomotive that's also the reconstructed variant. And here is what a reconstructed 41 looks like.
Huh.
At least this one is still in decent nick from what I.
As I said, I
Let's
think
just
I
get-
like the 41s better than the.
Yeah. Also, just for the hell of it, here's a picture of a reconstructed 41 next to a rebuilt West German 41. So you can once again clearly see just how big the differences are between the two. Just the different approaches between the East and West.
It's like putting a GS4 next to a GS6.
I suppose, but whatever.
In a way.
Let's see. What is next? What is next? What is the next class? Yeah. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure soon the stream won't be able to hear me or understand me.
015s, 23s, 41s, 5035s, 5280s. Oh, as a result, by the way, as a result of those boilers not working well for the 22s, which again, the rebuilt version of the 39s, those boilers of the 22s were mostly reused for locomotives of a different class of Pacifics, the Bawaraya 03, which was the lightweight brother, like literally the little brother to the 01. Like, also, Andrew, you don't have to put on that many face masks. You complete sodding tic-tac. But basically, like if you don't know what an 03 is, it's a normal 01, but with a smaller boiler because it was built kind of like kind of rushed together in order to create powerful but lightweight Pacific locomotives for routes that hadn't been upgraded yet to cope with the 01's higher axle loading. So whereas an 01 has an axle loading of 20 metric tons, an 03 has an axle loading of 18 metric tons. And Andrew, I wish I could fucking burn those face masks off of your face.
You know why he's wearing them? He doesn't want to catch diesel-itis.
Look in the chat.
I think he's trying to be V from Vendetta, from V for Vendetta.
No. Jim. Look at the chat. Look in the chat and see why I'm putting them on.
Andrew.
Every time Jim says boiler, I'm gonna put on a mask. Hey, Andrew, boiler.
I said anytime Jim says boiler.
Fuck.
Andrew.
What?
Please remove those masks.
No!
Boiler. Watch as Andrew suffocates himself.
Well, guess what? I can still breathe.
I don't want that to happen.
These masks are made to be used during welding operations, so I'm fine.
Hey, Jim.
Anyway, please remove the masks.
9.
You're making Jim's blood boiler.
You may continue, Jim.
This is interesting.
I will only continue after you put off those masks.
9.
Remove the masks.
I can barely hear him.
I know.
I can barely hear him either, and that's what I don't like about it.
Okay, fine. But let's see how many masks I actually put on. Let's see.
That's gonna be interesting.
1. I only put on 4 masks.
Okay, now I have to be a little bit quieter, but I believe there's only one more class to note.
Just don't mention boiler.
Fuck you.
He's gonna do it again.
That is, of course, a certain class. It's actually another one from before the Reichsbahn-Gesellschaft of 1920.
No, but I'm gonna put those away.
A friend of ours would have really, really loved these. If he happens to be watching this. It's the so-called Prussian G12 otherwise known as the Baureihe 58. Germany's first standardized steam locomotive, built for wartime mass production, the Kriegsloks of the First World War rather than the Second World War. Yeah, we're doing this. Hold on. I need to look up the tractive effort again.
Tyler said I looked like the plague doctor with my hat and all those masks.
I mean, you kind of do. You kind of look like you did kind of look like the plague doctor if you ordered them off of Wish.com.
Oh my god!
What, too easy?
I don't know.
Okay. Obviously, this is from the wrong side, but this is what the reconstructed version looks like. The Baureihe 5830. 56 of these were built, or rather rebuilt from normal 58s in Zwickau between 1958 and 1962. I do want to make a little bit of a comparison here between the regular 58s, but I have to look up exactly how they were classified again. Yeah. Okay, so the normal 58s. Okay, I think they kind of came in. Okay, I'm going with the latter version. Wait. Yeah, it's a little bit difficult to tell. I'm going with the latter version because that's probably closest to the Einheits program. Standard driving wheels for German 210s, so 1400 millimeters or 55.1 inches. Rather low boiler pressure though, 13.7 bar, which equals 198.7 psi.
Huh.
And they had a threesome of 570 by 660 millimeter cylinders, so that's 22.44 by 25.98 inches. And that total tractive effort, 60,151 pounds of tractive effort. But that's for a normal 58. For the 5830, the boiler pressure was boosted to that standardized 16 bar. Don't you dare put the mask on.
Put it on!
No, I'm not doing it anymore.
Sounds like you did it.
No,
But
I'm eating something. So
what happened is that as a result, the tractive effort got raised to 70,011 pounds, courtesy of the new boilers with that higher pressure of 16 bar or 232.1 psi. In fact, the reconstructed Baureihe 5830 was Germany's most powerful 210 decapod in terms of tractive effort. Not bad considering the fact that, as you may have noticed, it looks a little stupid.
what's so wrong? As long as it works properly, and it, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Plus, you can definitely tell that these are triple cylindered.
Did someone just join?
They look standardized, but you definitely notice that there's something a bit up about them. Like here's a picture of the other preserved one from the left-hand side, and you can actually notice a second eccentric rod connecting to the left wheel on the rear driving axle.
So that's why you do that in Gmod.
For these locomotives, yes, because that is accurate to the reconstructed version of the 58s as part of how they did their valve gear and running gear for the third cylinder.
Off topic, but Andrew?
What?
Remember that weird thing you do with your neck ages ago?
Like, you mean this?
Hang on.
Oh, yeah.
You look like a fucking pigeon, not what I meant. I meant where you push your head down to the point where you don't have one.
But yeah, all the reconstruction program, it really paid off.
You know what though?
Also, let's see if I can also find a little bit of a funny expansion for those reconstructed 50s, because at some point when it comes to the 5035s, some of them got an extra reclassification into the Baureihe 5050, when 72 of them were actually selected to be converted to burnt oil, because when they were reconstructed, they were just coal-fired. But some of them were also selected to be converted into oil burners. But in order to let them stand out more on the roster, it was decided that they needed their own reclassification. So they were literally a subclass of the subclass. Where the hell did he go?
Andrew disappeared again.
Yeah.
Want to know a fun fact about him? Never mind.
Well, if it isn't the Spider-Man.
He looks like a freaking detective, like the antagonist detective.
I am not a Redditor.
Andrew, isn't this the part where you're supposed to say, "Hello, Peter"?
Hello, Peter.
Yeah. You kind of look like Dr. Octopus without the tentacles.
I was going for, what's his name?
Anyway.
What's his name?
You mean the broad guy? I don't know.
The big guy, what's his name?
I don't know. Otherwise, you could also pass as a decent actor for the Penguin from the Batman franchise.
What's about to happen to you is not going to be very cash money, you see?
Now, anyway, Andrew, did you also hear what I said about the subclass within the subclass?
No, I didn't. I was too busy getting this overcoat.
Oh, yeah. Basically, at some point in the late 1960s, it was chosen that 72 locomotives of the Baureihe 5035 would be converted into oil burners. But they were going to be renumbered into the Baureihe 5050 as a result. Yeah, wrap your head around that.
Okay.
And as a result, and what's even weirder is that midway in like 1970 or something, the Reichsbahn adopted a different renumbering policy where each oil-burning steam locomotive would have its individual 4-digit number start with a 0. So this 50, which normally would probably have the engine number 55009, became 50009 dash something. It's part of their new computer numbering system.
But did I look funny in the overcoat? But anyway, though, I mean, it's a strange numbering system, I'll say that. But I guess
Yes. It is.
Josh, what is that?
You're a fucking pigeon.
You edited my face onto a pigeon?
And on that bombshell, it's also good. It's also pretty good time to note that
Wait, I'm gonna make
locomotives of these various classes have indeed been preserved. Actually, like I believe all the various reconstructed classes do at least have like one engine in preservation. Let me see, the 50s and 52s. That's bound to be like dozens. Sadly, including quite a few that were just basically abandoned and left to rust as scrapyard relics. Sadly, let's see, the 015s. 5 of those have been preserved. I believe a few reconstructed 03s are left. There are quite a few 22s around, surprisingly, but most of them are more like barren shells, not really recommended to be rebuilt to operational condition. God damn it.
Every time I'm laughing, you gotta realize I'm doing something stupid.
Stop doing something stupid, Josh.
No, it's too late.
You know the four-wheeler quads that Honda makes?
Yeah,
Tesla made them.
I didn't know.
Tesla's making fiber quads as well.
Huh.
I didn't know that until I saw one on YouTube today, and I thought it was kind of. I saw that on there and had to look at it. I thought,
I have been searching this desk and the entirety of New Mexico for 30 days, and I still can't find who the fuck asked.
Andrew, drop the antics.
Andrew,
Okay.
Let me say what I was going to say.
Yes,
Or actually
continue.
repeat part of what I said about the survivors of these classes. There are 5 locomotives left of the Bauerei 015, so that's cool. There are dozens of 5035s and 5280s left.
How many 41s?
What?
How many 41s?
Hold on, I'm getting to that. When it comes to the 50s and 52s, the rebuilds, unfortunately, quite a few of those were just basically abandoned, so they were kind of like scrapyard relics. In fact, sad news, if you remember from a picture I showed you, one of those preserved 5280s sadly got scrapped as recent as the summer of 2018.
Oh!
Surprisingly, there are also quite a few 22s left. You know, the crappy rebuilds of the Prussian Class 39s. But the ironic, I think there are like 8 of the 22s left, but it isn't recommended to rebuild them into operational locomotives because, again, they're too powerful for their goddamn frames. So maybe a cosmetic refurbishment will be cool, but even then, you don't have a whole lot to work with. Let me see. When it comes to the 5830s, there are 2 of them left. When it comes to the 41s, I think I can't find a list of the preserved reconstructed versions, but in total, there should be quite a few 41s left, which includes both the Reichsbahn reconstructed locomotives as well as the Bundesbahn's modernized locomotives.
sorry about laughing so much. It's just I can't get over the pigeon, Andrew.
Why would you do this to me?
You did it to yourself with your pigeon neck, pigeon man.
The thing is, Josh, I have been investigating the entirety of the train community. And the entirety of Ohio and New Mexico.
Hold on. Andrew, I believe there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 locomotives left of the Bauerei 41 in preservation total, but I don't know how many of those exactly are
Looking good.
I don't know how many of those exactly are the East German rebuilds.
Well, how many of those are in at least cosmetically good condition?
Should be quite a few of them.
All right.
Either that or they're undergoing some kind of rebuild. And on that bombshell, I don't have anything really left to say about this subject.
All that I can really say is, this actually seems like a really good solution to a very outdated problem.
Let's see. A few more comments to read from Tyler.
Yes, let's take a look.
Yeah, Bosnia does indeed still have a few locomotives left in service of the Bauerei 52, serving a coal mine, I believe, or a power plant. That's actually kind of cool. Let's see. Yes, we also got the part about him looking like the plague doctor if you ordered him off of Wish.com.
Also, Andrew.
And then he posted a comment saying, anyone else thinks that you look like the Vault Tech representative from Fallout 4.
And I don't. I've been searching the entirety of this. And I still can't find who the fuck asked.
You see, Andrew, I've been searching the train build community too, and I've discovered something very interesting about you.
What?
Horn. This.
What
Why
have
are
you
you, George R?
Excuse me, though. Why the fuck have you done this, Josh?
Too bad you can't show the stream our bullshit scenario.
Oh, I can show the streamer bullshit. Take a look at this.
Do it. Do it. Oh, gosh.
It appears, though, Josh has edited my fedora face onto one of the Cedar Point steam locomotives.
Show them the pigeon.
I'm going to be honest. I'm very tempted to chuck that image into. They should restore to running on the main line.
Show them the pigeon.
Yes. The funny thing is, he has also edited my face onto a pigeon with my hat.
Anyway, shall we wrap this episode up?
Yeah, hold on. Let me just stop doing the bullshit.
Yeah.
But
So, hope you guys all enjoyed this stream. We don't know what the next stream is going to be about.
oh,
but,
I
yeah.
know though.
Take care, everybody.
Actually,
And as
you
they
know
say
what
in
though?
German, Auf Wiedersehen.
Before
As they say in German. Never mind.
before we go,
Wrong
I'm
era
actually
of Germany.
I actually have a plan for the next episode, which is an interesting one. And would you guys like to hear it, or would you guys like to save it as a surprise?
What do you think, Jim?
Spoil it so we can anticipate on it.
So save it.
You piece of shit.
So you want me to save the idea and tell you?
Yeah. Spoil it.
Oh, spoil it. Okay.
Yeah, tell us what we're going to talk about next time so we can anticipate on it.
We are going to be talking about the Age of Steam Roundhouse.
Andrew and I are going there sometime.
Oh, goodness. I
Well,
want to talk about 643.
yes, we are going to be talking about
643.
we are going to be talking about all 24 locomotives over there, as well as the interesting history of Jerry Joe Jacobson and the reasonings why he sold his Ohio Central in order to build his magnificent estate. Well,
Jesus
Right.
Christ.
but you know,
Bombshell, Auf Wiedersehen.
on that bombshell, we hope you guys enjoyed. Yes, we will be talking about some of those locomotives, but we will see you guys in the next one.
See ya.
Bye bye, everyone. If you